Well, I forgot to get my camera out earlier. I went to Home Depot and bought 4 sheets of this 2-inch XPS installation. I'm going to build another kayak, foam kayak. The Ricskiff works fine in the pond, but I want something different in the marsh. It's going to be 13 feet long. The Ricskiff's only 10.5. So it's going to be 13 feet long. And I'm going to probably make it about between 36 to 40 inches. I hadn't quite made up my mind yet how wide. And it's going to be built on the same order. It's going to be a cross between a solo skiff and the, oh my, I forgot what the name of the darn kayak is now. Senior moment. Anyway, the one SS-127, whatever it is they call it, with a kind of a catamaran style hull on it. That's the way my Ricskiff was to start with, and I changed it and it didn't work as good or as fast, so I'm going back with this the same way. And the motor, like the solo skiff, is going to be inbound up here, sitting about here. It's going to be cut out in the rear for the motor. I have the Minn Kota saltwater 45-pound thrust motor, which it looks like when I got it, the motor and the prop and everything looks like the same thing as the 30-pounder I have on the Ricskiff. So I think they're calling it a 45, but I believe it still is a 30. Anyway, I'll find out when I get it on here. But what I did, I just now had to cut another one of the pieces and cut 5 feet off of it, and I'm fixing to glue it up. I'm putting this fiberglass blue painter's tape hinge on it. And just fold it back. And put your super glue, and I mean not super glue, but the Gorilla Glue right here on this end. I got to put wax paper and all underneath it so it won't stick to my floor. And bring my weights up here and set weights on it and let it glue overnight. It's set up. And then tomorrow I'll put the outline in it and cut it out. I'll show you that tomorrow, but I want to be a little bit better organized than this, but I kind of did spur of the moment. I'm in my garage here, my junk hole, and because the floor is flat and smooth, or my shop, it's flat, but it's got a bunch of crap on it. Then I'll take this down to the shop tomorrow to do the cutting on it. We'll do that tomorrow. So much for now. Well, I'm in my shop now. This is step 2 of building the Ricskiff. Styrofoam marsh skiff, I guess you want to call it. Yesterday I glued my 2 pieces together, 8-foot section and a 5-foot section. Give me a 13 feet overall on here. Might be by the time I get through sanding it and shaping it, it'll probably just a tad under, between 12.5 and 13. Might even break down, be 13. It's hard to say. But I did something this time I didn't do on the first one I built. I've got my lines marked from a center line. Then every foot I have a line made so that when I come back to put my bulkheads in, or seat, center console, whatever you put in here, I'll have something to line it up on. I didn't do that with my first one. And I kind of made it complicated because I don't have plans. I'm building this as I go. I'll sit here and I'll look at it. If it doesn't look right, I change something. What I've done is, this is a 1/2-inch PVC pipe. Schedule 20 works better, it's a little flimsier. This is schedule 40, but this is what I had, and I wasn't gonna go buy a piece. And this is just a board I made. I got the center one. I got it cut at 40 inches. That's gonna be 40 inches wide at the widest spot. There again, by the time I get through shaping it and sanding it, it'll probably be about 38, maybe 39, something like that. 37 to 39, somewhere in that area. It doesn't really matter. Same thing back here. I got this at 30 inches. Right here is going to be a 10-inch cut coming through here. Up. So far I got to measure the motor, see how much room I need, because the motor is going to be mounted. If you've ever looked at a solo skiff on YouTube, the motor is mounted inside here, and you just have a grab bar on the back, and it's opened in here. So the motor mount and all will be right in here. Then I'm like about a 2 foot by 2 foot box to go right here about the center point, just behind center, with a swivel seat on it. Then I'll have my foot controls up here running back to the motor to guide it. And I'm gonna have just a little battery box right here in the front. Put my lithium battery right here in the front. I got a 100 amp Battleborn lithium battery. Go right here in the front. I just have a little cover, the rest of it will be open. I started to put the battery underneath the seat, but I said, well, I don't know, because I'm going to throw stuff in there, some of my tackle gear and my life jacket and all when I'm on the road. And so I figured I'd put the battery up in the front, just put some weight up there in the front, because my other kayak's only 10.5 feet. It works really good for the most part. It's just a lot of fun building them. And what I've done with this PVC, I just made these little clamps. I have it clamped up over the wedge. Just mark it. I've already marked this side. Just go along it with a jigsaw with a smooth cutting wood blade in it. Cuts it like butter. Cuts it smooth. And it'll cut it as fast as you can go through there. I mean, it's just nothing to it. Don't buy one of those special foam cutting blades. I did that. They're a waste. They won't cut straight. You're wasting your money. I just put 2 little pieces of wood here. Just spring clamp that down to hold it in place, and a weight to hold it in place till I marked it. But it won't take but 5 minutes. I'll have this whole thing cut out. I have another piece identical to it up there in my garage at the house, because it's got a smooth flat concrete floor, and I just glued it up today, so I'll bring it down here tomorrow, and I'll take this piece and lay on top of it and mark it and cut it out, so you only have to do this one time. Then the next one, it's going to be 4 inches of foam. Then I'm going to cut my runners. Will come probably about where the center line is right here. This whole section here will be a runner. Then over here will be a runner. And the center section will be hollow. It's now you know, you've seen the kayaks with them like that. Kind of a catamaran or a pontoon style. And that's the way my Ricskiff was to start with. And I wanted to play with it, so I put a centerpiece down it. All that did is slowed it down. So then I came back and filled it in, made the whole bottom completely flat like this. I said, well, I'll speed it up if nothing else. Well, that didn't speed it up either. It was faster when I had the pontoon things with the center open. Made it faster. That's the way I'm going to do this one, and it seemed to be pretty stable that way. But this is step 2. I'm just fixing to take my jigsaw here, and I'm going to cut this out. After I cut it out, I'll show you what it looks like. I don't have a camera stand and all that fancy stuff to put this up and let you watch me cut it and make a fool out of myself. So I'll wait till after the fact and show you what it looks like. It still probably look kind of goofy, but we'll see. But that's step 2. There you go. Well, here it is cut out. It took me about maybe 10 minutes. Pretty quick. Took me longer to move all my crap out of the way than it did to actually cut it out. So, weighs nothing. There it is. It's going to be 2 layers. So it'll be 4 inches of solid foam. Then let's take this section right here, and I'm going to make 2 sponsons basically, or pontoons, whatever you want to call them. I'm not a nautical person, but whatever they are, it's going to be one here and one there. That'll give me 6 inches of flotation there. And so this part here will be cut out for the motor. I got to wait on the other piece up there to dry before I can bring it down here and cut it. But what I'll do is just take this, lay on top of it, trace it and cut it. Yeah, it'll take me 10 minutes. And then I got to figure where I'm going to put my battery box and my seat storage compartment. And what I'm going to do is on the top section in this center part where the storage box and seat goes, it'll be raised about so high. I'm going to cut out in that second piece of foam. That'll give me 2 inches more depth. And I put a thin sheet of plywood in the bottom on top of this and under the other part to make it solid, but I'll still gain 2 inches of storage, or 1 3/4 inches, depending on what size plywood I put in there. And so that'll give it a solid protection and give me a little bit more storage area. And I'll probably do the same thing up here with the battery part. And that's the parts I cut out. That's what's left over. So I use that for making a little whatever goes in here. And I originally was going to put the battery in the storage box and leave all this open and keep my bait box, you know, the cast net and all that, minnow bucket and all up here, a bait bucket. But like I said, I'm not sure just how I'm going to do that. Now, like I said, I don't have plans. I guess the plans are in my head, which is dangerous. And as I go, I just change things. But this foam, it's real easy to change. If you screw something up, you just cut it out and take a piece of scrap and glue it back in there and sand it. And glue your cloth on and paint it, and nobody knows the difference. It's even easier than woodworking. Not near as much trouble. But that's basically what the boat's going to look like. It's a little wider than a regular kayak. I know that. But down in the marsh, I do a lot of stand up and throw my cast net and all that kind of stuff. And the solo skiff, this is about what width it is. I think it's 41 inches. This is 40, plus it's going to be, by the time I sand it down, it'll be a little less. And probably about 39, 38, 39 inches. Because this stuff sands down pretty easy. But that's basically what it's going to look like in a nutshell. And I don't know the formula for the rear and the center and all that. I'm sure there's some boat people tell me, well, you got the wrong formula. It's supposed to be X number of percent and all this. So if that's the case, don't waste your time, because I don't know what you're talking about. This is 10 inches narrower than the widest point in the center. So I cut my piece 40 inches for the center, 30 inches across here, and it's going to be a 10-inch cut through here for the prop on my trolling motor to go. I just measured it, and it's like 9 inches. So I'm going to add about 1 inch to it. I got to go down to the beach. I got the little Suzuki 2.5 gas engine. I don't think the props on it is as big as what's on my trolling motor. I'm going to go down there this weekend and measure it before I cut all this out, so I won't have to do it for one time. So, and when I get something else done, I'll video that, but so far it's not much to it. Real simple. Anybody wants to do it, go to Home Depot and buy some foam. It was $28 and some change per sheet plus taxes. And I bought 4 sheets. I was going to buy 5, but I only had 4. So I bought 4 of them. I think that's going to work. I don't think I'll have to buy any more. I may. I just have to piece the runners along the side. I'll just have to piece those together. Instead of having one solid runner, I just have to piece them where I cut it out of the sections here. And I just cut my runners out of here and bulkhead or whatever, if I could put one in here. And that's the way it'll be. So my next step, that's it.